Have you ever woken up in the morning with no apparent reason to get out of bed? Not because you're tired, not necessarily because you're sad. It's just that everything around suddenly became meaningless. No job excites you, no one is waiting for you, and nothing makes you feel really alive. I know that feeling, and I believe you, no matter who you are, what job you do, have felt that way. At least once. You still wake up, you still brush your teeth, you still get dressed, drink coffee, turn on your computer, but everything was just like a repeating ribbon, lifeless and meaningless. It's like you're living, just because it's the only thing to do. And here's the important thing. That feeling, that empty feeling every morning, is not laziness. It's not because you lack discipline or lose motivation, as people often think. In fact, it's a subtle sign of something psychologists call temporary existential fatigue. That is, your brain, your mind, temporarily loses sight of the why behind everything you do. And the thing is, it doesn't just happen to people who are struggling in life. It can also appear when you have a good job, a stable income, a life that many people want. You can even be pursuing the right passion and still wake up feeling empty. Why so? Because meaning doesn't come from what you have. It comes from feeling like you're living on purpose. When you lose that connection between the action and the why, even good habits become lifeless. You can go to the gym, read books, work hard, but if you are no longer connected to why you do it, then every morning you will be just an automatic machine. No emotions, no direction. Think back to your morning. What is the first thing you think when you open your eyes? Have to get up for work? Another nameless chain of events? Or do you really have something that makes you want open eyes? Want to stand up? Want to live? I used to believe that to have an energetic morning, I needed to drink the right coffee, listen to the right music, or have a perfect checklist. But then I realized, none of that will work if your mind doesn't have a strong enough reason to live. The only thing that can pull you out of bed is the feeling that you are living the person you want to be. So how to find that meaning again? How to wake up every morning and not just open your eyes, but really open them to live. In the next part, I'll share with you how to rebuild a soulful morning. Not through instant inspiration, but through a system of intentional living. Don't look away. Let's start with the most important thing. How to reconnect with yourself and the purpose of life you've forgotten. Sometimes, we are not tired, not sad, not too busy, but still feel empty. Have you ever experienced that feeling? You wake up early, do everything on the checklist, eat healthy, work, answer emails. At the end of the day, you cross everything off, but then, still feeling nothing. No sense of being alive, no joy, no connection. Just another day gone by. Like yesterday, like tomorrow. The problem isn't that you're not doing enough. It's that you don't know why you're doing all those things. When life goals are vague, the brain doesn't know where it is headed. And without direction, every action, even the right one, becomes empty. We are not designed to just survive. We need a sense that we are moving towards something meaningful. There is a simple but powerful question. If today is a step forward, which direction are you moving towards? No clear answer? then that's why your days seem as bland as water without ice. But that's not all. The feeling of meaninglessness doesn't just come from disorientation. It also comes from a very familiar enemy: comparison. Every morning, you open your phone, you see someone run 5 kilometers, read 3 books in a week, started a new startup, or hit 1 million followers on Instagram. You haven't had breakfast, haven't brushed your teeth, and you already find yourself defeated. Comparison doesn't kill you instantly. It does worse. It silently drains self-esteem. It makes you doubt your own worth, even though you're doing your best. And when you feel like you're not good enough, not fast enough, not, like everyone else, enough, you start to wonder, does all this hard work make sense? That's when the feeling of meaninglessness creeps into every cell of the morning. It's not that you don't have goals, it's that you no longer believe your goals are valuable enough. But there is a deeper root, one that few people realize. It's the mismatch between what your mind craves and the life you live every day. Try asking yourself, who designed my life? Maybe it's your parents' expectations. Maybe it's a societal agenda. Maybe it's a role you take on out of responsibility. But if you don't choose it internally, sooner or later, your brain will react, not by rebellion, but by retreat. It stops releasing dopamine. It numbs positive emotions. And you start every morning feeling like everything is out of place. And then, you think you're losing inspiration. But in reality, you're losing sync between yourself and your life journey. Trust me, that nothingness feeling isn't the end of the world. It's a warning, a tiny but valuable one, that something in your operating system needs to be tweaked. Blank, underscore, blank. If you find yourself in these lines, don't worry. You are not alone. And the good news is, the feeling of meaninglessness can be changed, not by doing more, but by living more rightly. Next, we'll get into a very important part: how to reconnect with meaning every day, starting with small but defining actions. Stay tuned. The video doesn't end here, because your morning deserves more than a series of emotionless actions. We often think that when we have a big job, a noble mission, or a large sum of money in our account, the feeling of meaningfulness will automatically appear. But the truth is different. You may be a CEO, someone admired by many, but if you wake up in the morning and you no longer find yourself at work, you will still feel as empty as anyone else. On the contrary, a street vendor, waking up at 5 a.m., setting up shop in the cold mist, can still find his life full of meaning. Not because their work is more noble, but because they choose to do it with their full presence. Meaningfulness is not about the size of what you do. It lies in the degree to which you choose to live in that work. Blank, underscore, blank. Think about this. Every morning what you do is a decision. You don't have to change the world, but you can change the way you approach each small action. Stoicism, the philosophy of great men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus or Seneca, does not teach us to wait for inspiration to act. On the contrary, they say very clearly, don't wait for feelings. Start taking action, because your life depends on it. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, did not write in his diary every morning because he was a daydreamer. He wrote to reconnect himself with reason, with what mattered, with what he truly believed. He doesn't let emotions dictate the value of that day. He lets reason guide his actions, and lets his actions create positive emotions. And that is something worth learning. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If you feel meaningless every morning, don't think you're broken. You are not wrong. You are not behind. You are not lacking in willpower. You are simply being signaled by your body and mind that, hey, there's something about this life that's not true to who I am anymore. It's not a system error. It's a valuable reminder. Like the flashing fuel light on your car, it doesn't tell you your car is broken. It just reminds you to stop and refuel. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And the energy here is the meaning you actively build. No one gives you that. No platform, no recognition out there does that. Only you, with every little action you take every day, can decide whether what you are living is in line with who you want to become. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If you wake up and don't see a clear reason to live, start over in the smallest way. A thank you, an act of kindness, a line about what you believe, because that's how you reset the operating system that lives inside you. No need to be flashy, no need to be grand, just be honest, and choose. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And you know what? When you start living intentionally, even for just the first 15 minutes of your day, meaninglessness is no longer your enemy. It becomes an opportunity for you to rebirth yourself every morning. There is a question that seems simple, but if you really stop to answer it, you will see your life begin to change. Why do I wake up every morning? Not because of the alarm clock, not because of having to go to work, not because of responsibilities, but because you have a reason to live. Know that reason doesn't have to be a grand mission. You don't have to save the world, become a billionaire, or inspire millions of people. That reason may be small, but if it touches something real inside you, it's strong enough to pull you out of bed, even on your worst days. For example, I want to be someone I can trust. Today, I will be a little kinder than I was yesterday. I want to practice discipline, not for anyone else, but because I want to have self-respect. Such reasons seem small, but they are lasting, because they don't depend on results, don't need other people's recognition, and most importantly, they come from you. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And to stay connected to that reason every day, there's a tool that's incredibly simple, yet surprisingly powerful. That is, write a morning diary. Don't worry, you don't need to write pages. Just 3 lines, every morning. 1. What am I grateful for today? 2. What am I most afraid of today? 3. What would I do, even if I didn't like it, but knew it was important to me? Just 3 questions, but if you write them down honestly every day, you'll find yourself starting to see yourself more clearly. Because when thoughts are in your head, they are messy, but when you write them down, you are forced to face them. No more hiding, no more ignoring. Look straight. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And then comes the most important part. Do what you wrote down, even if you don't feel like it. This is where Stoic philosophy differs from every other inspirational advice out there. Because they don't believe in waiting for feelings. They believe in discipline as a way to assert that you are in control of your life. So, choose 1 or 2 things you want to do first. Will do every morning. whether you feel ready or not. For example, 5 minutes of light exercise, no gym required. Just move. 10 minutes to learn a skill of your choice, a language, a technique, a tool, a small act of kindness, send a greeting, help someone out, or simply not get angry in traffic. These little things don't change the world out there, but they change the person you are becoming inside. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Do you know? Morning is not the time to look for inspiration. Morning is when you rebuild your identity, every day. If you do this 7 days in a row, you will start to see something amazing. You don't need motivation to live. You just need a good enough reason, and a simple enough system to do it. Every day. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Are you ready to write the first 3 lines for tomorrow? If so, then congratulations. You have begun to recreate your own light. Do you ever feel like you're living without feeling anything? No pain, no joy, no sadness, just emptiness. And the first thing you want to do is scroll through your phone. Open Netflix. Do something to distract yourself from the unpleasant feeling. It's a natural reflex. Avoid. But what you need to do is much harder. Opposite. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You see, feeling meaningless is not the enemy. It does not come to destroy you. It comes as a subtle signal, saying, something is out of step with your true worth. And if you have the courage to stop, not to run away from it, you will realize that state of emptiness is giving you a reverse map, showing you where you have gone astray. I want you to imagine the sense of futility as the oil light on your car. It is not damaged. It is the message. You need to refuel. You need to stop and review the route. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And you know what? There is a very practical way to begin to face it, without panic, without suppression, but rather listen to yourself. It starts with 3 questions. Just 3, but powerful enough to bring you back to the essence of life. Question 1. What is this feeling teaching me? Sometimes, emptiness comes not because you are wrong, but because you are living too fast. Forgetting what is really important. Maybe you're people-pleasing too much, or you're working for the glory, not the passion. Let that feeling remind you to come back. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Second question. What am I expecting from a world that is not in my control? Stoicism has one core principle. Focus only on what you can control. But in reality, we easily fall into the trap of expectations. Wanting to be recognized, wanting to be understood, wanting things to go your way. And when those expectations aren't met, you feel disappointed, then disconnected. That's when the feeling of meaninglessness sets in. It's not that life is empty. It's that you put too much of your mind on things that are out of your reach. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The final question, the most powerful. If I had only 1 day left to live, what would I do differently? This question is not meant to intimidate you. It is not pessimistic. It is a reminder that time is finite, and we don't have the luxury of staying off track for too long. This question does not ask you to change your whole life. It simply suggests that you can start over, today, living closer to what you really believe. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You see, facing does not mean fighting. Sometimes, facing is simply allowing yourself to acknowledge that emotion, and using it as a compass to return to the core. Because the feeling of meaninglessness doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to ask, do you remember why you started? Blank. Underscore. Blank. And if you choose to stop today, ask those 3 questions and really listen. You will see what seems to be empty is actually an opportunity for you to be reborn from within. We often try to avoid the feeling of meaninglessness. Try to suppress it with work, music, social media, or busy routines. But you know what? That feeling, if you are brave enough to look it straight in the eye, can become the most powerful fuel to rebuild your own life. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Let's take a look back. Why do people who have been through crises become more profound? Why do some people, after losing everything, live more mindfully than before? Because they no longer have a reason to avoid it. They are forced to look back. What really matters to me? You don't have to hit rock bottom to do that. You just have to stop long enough and redesign the life you live every morning. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The first thing you can do is create a morning ritual for yourself. I'm not talking about the stereotypical morning routine you see online, the ones that look good but aren't practical. I'm talking about a small but symbolic series of actions that help you send a signal to yourself that I am proactive, I am living with direction. For example, sit still for 2 minutes doing nothing, just feeling your breathing. Place your hand on your heart and say one sentence. I am here. I choose this day. Drink the first glass of water slowly, without holding the phone. Write one line. What do I want to live differently today? These little things may seem meaningless, but when repeated with intention, they re-establish your inner identity. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Next, let's change one important thought. Don't wait until life makes sense to start taking action. Act with purpose, and meaning will follow. Do you want to feel meaningful in life? Do something nice for someone, no matter how small. Get something done that you've been avoiding, even if it's just doing the dishes. Be proactive in learning 1% more every day. Instead of waiting for inspiration to strike. Meaning is not a fire that burns you from within. It's the little light you turn on every time you live what you believe. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And if you want that feeling to last, you need something deeper. Not goals, but identity. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Am I living like that person when no one is looking? When you have a clear identity, you will know what to do every day. And every action, no matter how small, is a way for you to reaffirm who you are becoming. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The feeling of meaninglessness doesn't go away overnight, but it is no longer an enemy when you know how to use it as a mirror to return to the core. You don't have to do great things to feel your life has value. You just have to choose to live authentically, on purpose, and repeat it every day. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You are not your empty feelings. You are the creator of meaning from within. Maybe you're going through a phase in your life where waking up every morning feels meaningless. Everything is fine. You have a job. You have people by your side. You have goals set at the beginning of the year. But deep inside, you feel like you're just drifting. Directionless, emotionless, disconnected. And you start thinking, I guess I haven't found the meaning of life yet. I have to go somewhere and do something great to see that my life has value. But you know what? Meaning is not something you go looking for. It's something you create every day from intentional actions. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Don't wait until you see the light at the end of the tunnel before you take action. Because many times, it is the actions you take in the dark that create the light. This is the spirit of Stoicism, the philosophy of life of people who have faced war, loss, betrayal, and death. They don't teach you how to feel better. They teach you how to live better, even when there's no inspiration at all. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, once wrote during tired nights that, take the right action, even if your mind is not ready, because the right action will bring your mind back to the right place. This sounds paradoxical, but it is extremely true in life. When you act, even if you don't believe, that very action sows belief. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You don't need to find great meaning to get started. Start with something very small, but something you choose to do. Wake up on time, not because of work, but because you respect yourself. Help someone not out of obligation, but because you want to be a good person. Do something you hate, because you want to build resilience. Each such action is a brick. You don't see the wall right away. But if you continue, day after day, you will create a solid foundation for a life that has direction, focus, and inner light. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The feeling of meaninglessness is not the enemy. It is a natural part of the human journey. Everyone will pass, but the important thing is, you don't have to live in it forever. You can choose to stand up, select start over, choose to rebuild, meaning piece by piece, with your own hands and awareness. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And if you're feeling lost today, remember, you don't need to find your big purpose in life right now. You just need to make one small meaningful action today, because that little thing can be the first stone placed on the path that leads you back to your true self. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Thank you for listening until the end. If this video touched something in your heart, leave a comment. What do I choose today to recreate meaning? And don't forget, you are not alone on this journey. Together we walk, day by day, step by step, to recreate the light from within ourselves. If you are still searching for answers for yourself, then don't stop here. Each subsequent video in this playlist is a small step, but one that can bring you closer to clarity, stability, and inner peace. Keep watching, because who knows, just one sentence in the next video might change the way you start your day tomorrow.